Hello and welcome to our 2010 Award the Motion or AWIM project. I'm Hallie.
I'm Jillian.
And I'm Delaney. And we are the Moving Cats. Next slide. Go down. This is what we're going to cover in our presentation. The people, the fuel cells, our design goals, our data, load versus no load, our challenges, our car, our final test, and our summary. This is us. This is how a fuel cell works. The water in the fuel cell is split to create hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen enters on the anode side of the fuel cell. At the catalyst, the hydrogen is separated into protons and electrons. The electrons power the electrical device by flowing through the electrical circuit. Oxygen enters the fuel cell on the cathode side, and when the protons flow through the electrolyte to the cathode's catalyst combines the protons, electrons, and oxygen, creating water. Our design specifications were to carry a load of 300 grams for a distance of 5 meters with only 30 seconds of hydrogen production, and we also wanted to have our toy appeal to 7 to 12-year-olds. We also had to fit the standards of green design toys, which were the car must be eco-friendly. In other words, it should use a fuel cell as a power source. The materials must be recyclable and reusable, and we also had to create a new appealing car that's driven by a motor, in this case, a fuel cell. Producing power, no load. We had to test our fuel cell and motor before we built our car. To do so, we generated hydrogen for different amounts of time, from 30 seconds to 120 seconds. Then we tested how long the motor ran without any load. As you can see in the graph, as the time of hydrogen production increased, the motor run time increased as well. So the results showed our fuel cell and motor was working. Producing power with a load. After we knew our motor worked with no load, we needed to test our motor with a load. So we added a weight of 106.4 grams hanging from a string attached to the axle of the motor. Then we measured how far and how fast the weight was lifted. Again, this confirmed the fuel cell and motor worked well lifting weight. It also confirmed that the more time we produced hydrogen, the more power our car had.
While we built our car, we faced some problems and had to come up with solutions. One of our problems was that the first run was always the shortest. So we thought that air might be contaminating the hydrogen tubes, making the car less efficient. So we always generated a round of hydrogen before running our car to clear the tubes. Another problem we had was that it was too hard to hook up the wires of the car. So we were losing hydrogen during the time it took to hook up the wires and start the car, making our car less efficient and making it harder to reach our goals. So we added a switch, and all we had to do was disconnect the batteries and flip the switch. Another problem we had was that our car only went 3 to 4 meters with the weight versus the required 5 meters, meaning we had to produce more hydrogen in 30 seconds to reach our goals. So we decided to use 6 volts, which is 4 batteries, to charge our car instead of 3 batteries, and it worked well. We weren't sure if this was an okay solution and complied with the rules, so we asked SAE. We decided to send an email to the manufacturer in Singapore, and they said it might damage the fuel cell, so we needed a new solution. We need to figure out how to provide more hydrogen with only 30 seconds of charging. So we decided to pressurize the syringes with rubber bands because we noticed there was often leftover hydrogen and oxygen in the tubes, and if we could have them under pressure, we'd be able to use all the hydrogen and oxygen. So it worked well at the beginning, but then it stopped working, and we didn't know why. And we observed the relief valves are leaking, meaning there's too much pressure on the syringes. So we needed another way to produce more hydrogen. So we decided to use 2 fuel cells, which would double the amount of hydrogen we could produce in 30 seconds. But without the syringes moving on the car, we couldn't. Oh wait, no. Okay, so this worked, but it would mean extra load on the car, slowing down the car and making it harder, once again, for us to reach our goals. So we put the other fuel cell on a gas station, so we could hook up the car to the gas station, produce the hydrogen using both fuel cells, and then drive our car away. But it worked, and our problem was that it was difficult to hook up the 2 syringes we needed to produce the hydrogen. So we decided to use a long length of tubing for the hydrogen, and one end was connected to the gas station and the other end was connected to the fuel cell. And it worked. With 2 fuel cells, the car went over 5 meters. But without the syringes on the car, we couldn't see if we were producing any oxygen. So we had to figure out a way to see if our car was charging. So we left the oxygen syringe attached, and it worked, so we could see the syringe move and the car charge. And then we needed to easily disconnect and seal one tube without losing hydrogen, because if we just disconnected the tube and held it with our clamps, we would lose hydrogen. So we noticed when you disconnected the twist connectors, they sealed. So we used one to attach the hose to the gas station, and we could disconnect the fuel cell in the gas station and have enough hydrogen for 5 meters. This completed our design and allowed us to meet all of our requirements.
So here's our car. We designed it to look like a cat and have room to carry 300 grams, and the gas station attendant. He gets free rides. In this picture, you can see the coiled tubing for the hydrogen, the syringe for the oxygen, the onboard fuel cell, and 300 grams of weight. In the background is the second fuel cell as part of the gas station, as well as the sleeping gas station attendant. To confirm our design met all the requirements, we did some final testing. Here are the results. The first graph shows all 3 runs went over 6 meters. The car would have gone farther, except for the test course was too short. Our goal was to be above the orange line, or in this case, 5 meters. The graph on the right shows how far off from a straight line the car went on the corresponding runs. Our goal was under 250 millimeters. Below the line is better. And this is why our car rocks. Our car is made from mostly recycled materials. We have made our car of an old CD holder, wires from broken appliances, a styrofoam ball from a game, and other things that would otherwise be thrown away. Our car can travel 5 meters with a load of 300 grams with 30 seconds of hydrogen production. It uses a fuel cell, an eco-friendly fuel source, and it appeals to 7 to 12-year-olds. Our car has 2 levels of charging. For short trips or trips without a load, you can charge the car using the built-in fuel cell. For longer trips, or trips with the load, you can pull up to the gas station and charge using the onboard fuel cell and the gas station fuel cell. Here's a summary of what we covered in this presentation. The design goals, the fuel cell, data, no load versus load, challenges, car, final testing, and the benefits of our car. Thanks for watching. Are there any questions or comments?
You guys went through a lot of challenges
Yes.
to keep stepping through. How did that work as a team? Usually that's the hardest part. Can you share some of that, how was it working with the team and getting through those difficult times?
We kind of threw around ideas and experimented, and eventually we came up with ideas that worked, and yeah. As a team, we kind of had a few disagreements on what to do, but we decided to try both solutions, and whatever one worked better, we just went with. Yeah, just a few. Any other questions? Thanks for watching. Who wants to see the fuel cell, our car go?
Girls, congratulations. We have a couple things. We have certificates of achievement for each of you. So Jillian. Haley. Hallie, sorry, Celine.
Thank you.
And we also have, thanks to the Timbuktu Internet Cafe, if I can do a little advertising, at Great Lakes Crossing, each student was going to get 1 hour free of internet time. So if parents want to drop them off at Great Lakes Crossing for an hour and do some shopping, there you go. There you go.
Thank you.
Congratulations, girls.